Now that we've learned the basic melody in the previous chapter, let's work now and shift gears and move to our left hand where we're going to play the chords. Again, when we play in this style, it's in the simplest form, and we're going to move beyond that in the future, but for right now, in its simplest form, we want to play the melody line in our right hand and the chords in our left hand. Now, how we find out what chords to play is based on the chord symbols which show up in a lead sheet. So as opposed to, for those of you that are used to traditional notation, as opposed to a bass clef, we just use these chord symbols which are listed up above the treble clef or the staff of music. So you'll see, and we're using the traditional chord changes on this one, so keep with the same lead sheet we were using in the last chapter. You'll see the first chord symbol is a C chord, and that's the chord that will last for the first 4 measures. And on that note, whenever you see a letter name like that C or an F in this case, in this tune, without anything after it, with no 7, with no plus, no, minor or something like that, by default, it means major chord. Now, you don't need to know how to construct all that. I'm just going to show you, what the chords are. However, just know that if you ever see a note name by itself in a chord symbol, if there's nothing after it, by default, that means major. If it's not major, they'll tell you something else. So, for the beginning chord, you have a C major chord, and then you move on to a G7 in the second line, and so on and so on. So here we go. I'm going to just give these away so you can actually see the notes in them. One other thing I should tell you is that we do have on the DVD itself, just like how you had to get the lead sheets off, we also have a PDF file of chord diagrams of every chord that we're using in here. So if you need to, you can print that out as well, and it's a great way to get your chords learned a little bit quicker, or give you a little reference for what notes are in each chord. But let's go ahead and dig through these. They're pretty simple. There's actually only 3 chords in the basic version of this tune. So we start out with a C chord. That's those 3 notes. It's a C and an E and a G. All right. Now, something to keep in mind as I'm playing, I just want to mention this. I've gotten in a habit from the TV show, and so you guys can see the notes better from this overhead shot, of tucking my fingers in like this. I don't actually play that way. When you're really playing a chord, you want to kind of keep, your hand just so it's hanging loose. Like imagine just laying your hand on a post. Your fingers should just be able, you don't want to have them stuck out, or you don't want to have them all crooked some way. You just want, loose, comfortable hands where your fingers are hanging down below your wrist, and to just play it like that. I'm going to go ahead and show you, though. I'm going to tuck my fingers back so we can see it better. So there's the C chord. Alrighty. Now the second one we need to look for is a G7. There's the notes in a G7 chord. Okay, it's G, B, D, and F. B, D, F. Those of you using a player piano can really see this well with the notes going down. Alright. Then back to the C chord. Another chord we have in this one, it's the third chord, is the F chord. So that one feels shape-wise exactly like a C, but instead of C, E, G, we're going to start it on the F note. F, A, C. And you can choose to play it down here if you want to. You can play it in either octave, doesn't matter for now. And that's it. So there you have it. There's the 3 chords in the basic version. C, G7, F, and C. Pretty simple. So, take some time. We're talking 10, 15 minutes. Get these learned. Just blindly get these memorized. And then we're going to move forward to the next chapter and put that basic melody with the basic chords, and we'll get our first version of the tune underhand. See you in the next chapter.